Welcome back to NARRATE Talks, the podcast where we explore the transformation of European manufacturing. In our previous episodes, we discussed architecture of smart manufacturing network and the brain of the IMC. But technology is only as good as the problem it solves. Today, in our fourth episode, Partners' Perspective, Real-World Application Case Studies, we are moving out of the lab onto the production line. We'll be showcasing how the NARRATE framework is actually applied by our participating partners to tackle real-world volatility. Our mission today is to highlight the anticipated benefits for these organizations, from reducing production times to mitigating logistics risk, and to show how these pilots projects serves as a blueprint for the wider industry. We have a panel of partners who are implementing these solutions in diverse sectors. María José joined us from AIDIMME with over 30 years of international research experience in shaping the digital future of furniture industry, a key developer of FunStep data exchange standards, and a veteran manager of massive EU ecosystem like Nimble and EFPF. She brings deep expertise in interoperability and federated smart manufacturing platforms to the NARRATE project. Back again, we also received Dirk and Jorge. Dirk is a co-founder and CEO of budatec, leading pilot number 3 of NARRATE project to achieve supply chain resilience in the semiconductor industry. Jorge is the CEO of Medwood and the lead for pilot number 1 of NARRATE project, focused on automation and supply chain resilience in the furniture sector. María joined us from DHL as an R&D project manager with over 15 years of experience in worldwide supply chain, design, and international logistics. With extensive background on European Commission funded research, María is the key liaison for the NARRATE project's logistic consortium, ensuring that the project's innovations translate into seamless real-world international operation. María José, let's start with you. What does the NARRATE framework actually look like, and what solution does it bring?
Okay, I am leading the pilots or trying to harmonize the different heterogeneity of the 3 pilots that we have: the furniture production represented by Medwood, additive manufacturing by AIDIMME, and semiconductor manufacturing by budatec. What mainly I have doing is to synchronize the technical developments with the industrial use cases. So at the beginning, we started with user stories, and with these user stories, we extract the corresponding requirements. So we review all these requirements with the technical developers, and we map such specific use cases with particular target inside the scope of NARRATE, addressing the manufacturing as a service as the main topic. So we were identifying specific risks in all the pilots. So at the beginning of the project was really, really hard in this part, because it's like a wish list where all the industrial partners start having this wish list, but we needed to concentrate and to guide these industrial partners in the topic, exactly in the topic. So we identify specific KPIs for all the use cases, and because at the end of the project, we need to analyze the impact that each specific technical solution has addressed. And not only that, we are having in consideration environmental aspects in order to take a decision, because it's not only to have a decision, should be a proper decision taking into account environmental issues, for example. So we we have several technical solutions addressing different points that I will give you some tips about them. But in order to orchestrate all these different components, we have what is called the intelligent manufacturing custodian as the main entry point from the end users. So the end users will ask to the custodian, or they are already asking specific issues according to the problems they have, and this custodian will go to the different technical solutions in order to find the proper answer to the required question or problem that raised from the user, but could also be part, for example, from internally, if there is a problem in a specific machine, this event will go to the different components in order to address what should do the best solution that we should address. So as I am not going to go in detail in the three pilots, but just to mention that we have the one related to furniture leading by Medwood. We have in AIDIMME the one related to printed network as a service. That the idea is to have this 3D printing network where you have a specific problem, you can externalize the production. And then the one related to budatec, addressing the efficiency of the energy and resources. So we follow a specific technology roadmap as a basis. And what has been really challenging is to have these two worlds, the researchers and the industrial people, because the researchers needed to understand the specific requirements and take into consideration in the specific development. So could be, for example, real-time visibility, or predictive modeling, as well risk management, or, for example, to have an automated decision support, or having into consideration always the customer experience. So just to mention that to have these technological solutions and having the expectations from the end users, this has been exactly the work, having the possibility of continuous improvement in order to reach always the expectations from the end users. And one of the interesting things is having, of course, the possibility of managing global network of your 35 producers, and to minimize, for example, the impact of natural disaster or geopolitical conflicts or labor shortage or transportation disruptions. I mean, there are a lot of different disruptions, and has been really, I must really congratulate the effort of Medwood and budatec and people from AIDIMME working in the additive manufacturing part, that identifying all the typology of risks has been something really very good for them, because sometimes they realize specific risks that can be mitigated in different ways. And I think this joint work between the researchers for improving the technical solutions and the industrial partners has been really great. So thank you.
Thank you, María José. Now, Jorge, turning to the actual implementation on the floor, where do you see the most significant wins in terms of automation and overall supply chain improvement?
Hello, everyone. I am Jorge García, CEO of Mediterranean Good Factory, and today I would like to share how our European project in which we participate as a pilot company can really transform the way we manage our supply chain. Over the past few years, the entire industry has gone through a very challenging period. Unexpected shortage, delays, logistics costs skyrocketing, and sudden change in the availability of almost any material. In our case, working with Wood and other companies, we have felt this especially strongly, but we have also learned an important lesson. A supply chain doesn't fail only because of raw material uses. It fails due to internal factors, external disruptions, late decisions, lack of visibility, and above. It fails due to internal factors, external disruptions, late decisions, lack of visibility, and above all, because we don't detect warning signs early enough. One of the most important contributions of this project is the ability to identify anomalies before they become a real problem. Until now, many companies, including ours, discovered an anomalies only after it had already affected production. A delayed suppliers, an unexpected stock variation, a deviation in delivery times, or an unusual demand behavior. But with advanced technologies, we'll be able to detect anomalous patterns in supply, subtle changes in supplier performance, emerging logistic risks, signs of saturations, shortage or overlap, and external situations that could impact us. And most important, before it's too late. This means being able to anticipate, being able to react with time, and be able to make better decisions. In an industry where a single day of delay can change everything, this capacity is proven. And another key part of the project is integrating Internet of Things. Another case of the project is integrating IoT technologies across the entire supply chain. And what does that bring us? It gives us a real-time information. It gives us immediately visibility of what's happening in machine, warehouse, transportation, and suppliers. And it also gives us something equally important, alternative. When there is internal disruptions like a stopped machine or a bottleneck, IoT system can suggest alternative process routes, redistribute work orders, automatically notify maintenance, or active backup workflows. And when the disruptions comes from the outside, a truck that doesn't arrive, a supplier that fails, or a logistic blockchain, IoT combined with the data analytic can search for alternative suppliers, recalculate delivery times, adjust production in real times, or active mitigation strategies. In short, IoT turns a serious interruptions into a manageable problems. Another pillar of the project is the analysis of historical dates, because the information we already have, years of purchase, sales, incidents, price, deliveries, contains extremely valuable patterns. By analyzing that date, we can understand which months are more sensitive to storage, Which supplier tend to be late? Where variability appears most often? Which factors anticipate or disruptions? And which decisions work best during past crises? Without proper analysis, we react blind. With this, we react with a real advance. The project will help us transform scattered data into useful, structured, and actionable information. And now, to close, I want to share my real expectations. What I believe this project will be truly bring us. I expect it to help us anticipate problems before they appear, building a much more stable supply chain, even an uncertain environment, operate with more information and less intuition, reach with clear alternatives when disruption occurs, internal or external, make the most of the historical data to continuously improve, and above all, gain resilience, which today is the key factor for an European company. My expectation is simple, yet ambitious. I want this project to help us become more agile, more forward-thinking, and more competitive. And I am convinced it will. Thank you very much for listening.
One of the most difficult things to scale is customization. Dirk, you're dealing with personalized pieces. How is NARRATE helping you meet those objectives and reduce the production lead times?
We are the pilot, the budatec, in this NARRATE project. This the balancing of the personalization and the production efficiency in the semiconductor manufacturing. The budatec company, it's a German-based company located in Berlin. I'm Mr. Buße, I'm the CEO. We are specializing in the semiconductor processing equipment and high precision and solutions for wafer handling, bonding, and thermal processing. We operating European highly innovation semiconductor ecosystem. And budatec serves clients who demand both the flexibility and the rapid response time to evolving technology needs. That is most important to know why we need a stable supply chain, flexible supply chain, and that we get information so early enough for the disruption in the supply chain that we have time to reaction. The drive toward in the personalization is in the semiconductor equipment market. The customer required very significant data depending on the devices of geometry, of wafer sizes, of the process conditions, pressure, temperature, material, of the integration and access production line. As a result, is many machines are engineered to order E2O products. Means that each system is tailored to unique client specification. This is an unicate with a standard frame, but with unicates non-standard parts in the assembling of the machine. A lot of new parts and but there's not the standard in the assembling and the manufacturing. While this personalization approach strengthens customer relationship and product position, it introduced several challenges. This is a complex engineering cycle. The customer design of required extends R&D and prototyping stages. The engineering teams face it difficulty in maintaining standardization across multiple custom builds. B, the supply chain fragmentation. That means budatec sources specialty parts mainly from Europe suppliers. And that means we have short ways and short times, which can lead to component and lead time inconsistency. And the supplier dependence in needs parts, vacuum chambers, high precision sensors, control electronics, flexibility, and a rapid scaling. And C, the knowledge transfer and the work phase constraints. With the European skills laboratory shortest in the precisions manufacturing and mechanical engineering, maintenance experience across multiple personalized projects can slow production. Each new design what we have in the machine as a customer design demands retraining, documentation updates, internal alignment between engineering, production, and the quality teams. The objectivity, the reducing of the production times is very important. Budatec aims to shorten lead time without scarifying the precision and the customizing that's defined, it's competitive and aged. To meet this object, they must overcome several key hurdles. It's the key, the modular standardization. This is also in this NARRATE project, introducing modular subsystems, standardization, wafer heating or units, pressure control units in the standardization that can rebuild in other parts, allowed faster assembling and even for customer builds. And however, the balancing modularity with customizing remains, it's difficult as standardization can limit flexibility. To be the lean manufacturing and digitally integration, or an IMC digital tool, what we get it to collecting and filtered information. This implementation of a lean manufacturing is a principle, and then this before industrial 4.0 digital tracking system and MES or Internet of Things sensors help to monitoring the bottlenecks and to optimize the workflow in the Budatec shop floor. Yet the integrating these technologies across a semi-custom environment requires major progress, redesign, and staffed adaptation. And see the supplier synchronization, building stronger digital connecting partnership with European component manufacturing can enable real-time tracking of parts availability and adapt production planning to pro assembly team. And the simulation or virtual prototyping, it means to build a digital twins. Using digital twins and advanced simulation tools allows Budatec to virtuality the validate designs before the production starts, reducing physical prototyping time and save money. And this is also a big point in this NARRATE project, what we are focused on this. What is the strategy outlook? To remain competitive, the Budatec GmbH must connectivity developing into a hybrid manufacturing, combining custom engineering excellence with efficiency, a repeatable system for faster delivery. The key strategically focused included is expanding supplier integrated for greater material and component visibility, investing in automation or for component machinery or assembling, leveraging digital design and simulation to compress development time, building of a standardization catalog or a pre-certificate modules adaptable to custom clients configuration. Closing NARRATE, the Budatec journey types in the modern Europe semiconductor equipment sector, a balance between the customer driver personalization and the industrial need for scalability and speed. By refining an internal the workflow on the Budatec shop floor, investigating digital infrastructure and building stronger European supplier networks, the company aims to reduce the production timeframes while sustaining the high degree of precision and reliability that defines its brand. Furthermore, for the Budatec, a stable supply chain is extremely important, shorter way, especially a view also of disruption, a view of political events, of natural events, of supply chain disruption to insolvencies of suppliers or of pandemics or Suez Canal closed. This is one of the topics what we are best here in NARRATE, and to find strategies and solutions and tools that we can budatec harder here in this world, that we can compete that to the other parts in the world, to the Chinese or the North American world. That is for us, for budatec NARRATE, very important as projects, and we work on it. Very many thanks for that.
Efficiency doesn't stop at the factory gate. Maria, give us a viewpoint from logistics. How does a smart storage and end-to-end visibility actually reduce the risks?
I am Maria from DHL, and as you may already know, we are the logistics partner here, and our main core within the NARRATE project is connected to the pilots in the sense of being part of this intelligent manufacturing with the role of intelligent warehousing and intelligent logistics. And what does it mean? Considering what has already been said, it's the core issue here is about connecting the information, so the logistics behind become smart, but not only smart in an independent from the rest of the supply chain and the manufacturing. The logistics and the warehousing are essential part of this resilience chain in which manufacturers require their components to be delivered on time. They require to have a plan B. They require to have different options when a disruption occurs, so their processes are not highly interrupted or even fully stopped. So they can just adapt eventually to what happens. And our role there, especially in the beginning, was set as a buffer warehouse, but not a mere buffer where we store just some key components of a certain manufacturer. We are an intelligent buffer, and to achieve that, the exchange of information that nowadays is not really efficient will become into play here. We will know what to store, how to store, when to deliver, how to deliver, the full life cycle, when it's out of date, the properties of material, the properties of each of the components. That information is provided to within the NARRATE context by the manufacturers, because they are the ones who best know what happens with their components, what's critical with them, how to optimize them. So with that information, we will become smart warehousing, and we will optimize, on the one hand, the how we serve them, how we just adapt to events, to disruptions, how we just optimize this cycle so the manufacturing is not broken anymore. And as well, we will just be optimizing internally. We will not be storing for the sense of store components or elements. We will be just storing exactly what needs to be stored and delivering exactly when it needs to be delivered. So in this sense, we will be somehow autonomous. We will have this power of optimize autonomously, but always considering the full picture of what's around, the full picture of the manufacturing scenarios, the supplier scenarios, the transport scenarios, and that's what will make a real difference for us. So, of course, this reduces a lot of all the logistics risks associated, because the risks are there, the events will occur, but we will be able to adapt, to have this resilience, and not only have it individually, but have it collectively with entire ecosystem that it's part of this grid, but it's also part of the real life of this industrial manufacturing industry, of the European industrial manufacturing industry, which it's moving towards much more competitive, much more sustainable models, and that's how the logistics form part of this. We are not an isolated item storing components and moving things from point A to point B. We are an active part of the whole ecosystem, and having this full flux of communication allows, in the end, the manufacturers to make this sense and sensible and really structure final decisions when they have to. It's not just about how to solve a critical problem. It's not about surviving a disruption. It's about outpacing it, and that's this driving resilience. It's what I think it's the core element of NARRATE project. Thank you.
It's one thing to talk about AI and digital twins in the abstract, but hearing how they apply to personalized manufacturing and smart storage make it very real. María José and Jorge, moving from the theory to the practice, how does the NARRATE framework make it easier to self-organize so that when disruption happens, the system handles it automatically instead of stopping production?
Like just to add that in NARRATE, we have been addressing manufacturing as a service, and in order to have specifically in the platform of NARRATE digital traceability and transparency across the entire manufacturing workflow. So if you have a specific problem, could be inside the factory, or could be due to any supplier problem. So this information receives automatically the platform and can give some alternatives, in this case to Medcood, but always the decision making, it's something that the human, the operator or the manager will have the final decision. But NARRATE platform will give you specific alternatives in order to see how can you recover and be more resilient.
Okay. When we talk about the putting into a practice, the NARRATE framework does something truly powerful. It's always to supply chain to reorganize itself whenever a problem appears. And how does it do that? Very simply. The system has a complete view of what's happening at every moment. And thanks to the intelligent custodians, it can interpret that information and automatically suggest the best alternative. This means it can react to fires, delays, or bottlenecks without stopping productions. NARRATE also turns factories into a connected and flexible network, able to adjust volumes, switch materials, or active alternative suppliers whenever a disruption occurs. So instead of stopping, the system helps us make the best decisions early and effectively. In summary, NARRATE detects the problems, helps you choose the best alternative, and keeps production running while managing disruption across the entire supply chain.
Dirk and Maria, you are on the front lines of production and logistics. How does having the end-to-end visibility of the IMC help you both coordinate so that the custom order moves from the warehouse to the customer without any wasted time or hidden risks?
Yes, for us, this is very important. Today, it's a blind fly what we have from the order for a part for the production and until we receive this this part. And in the meanwhile, we have no information and nothing how we can control that. And this is now a situation that we are a little bit going nervous, and it's not so fine for us that we have this information. And in NARRATE, in this project, they give us the possibility or strategies to find a way how we can information about in this process over all the time, that we can control each step in this order process. This is very helpful for us because it saves time, and if we have time, then we have time for reaction. If we have early enough information that a part is missing or a part is not coming, then we can have other strategy, or we have alternative process. If we have not this time, we are produced just in time. We ordered, and in the time we need a part, then we assemble the part, and the final machine go out. If we have not this part, then we have a big problem for outgoing the final machine with a lot of money. And for that, it's NARRATE very helpful to find a strategy or information that we can save time, and then we have more time for reactions. Also for a strategy that a digital twin or so on, or informations can helpful for budatec stuff that he can order, or doing other things in this time, that we got the part in time. That's really important in our NARRATE project for this point, that we have enough time to reaction. Thanks.
Well, from a logistics provider perspective, what NARRATE it's giving us the chance to do is just becoming an active part of this supply chain. We are not just offering a warehousing service or a transport and logistics service. We are just able to exchange this critical information Dirk was referring to. So as when there's a disruption or an event occurs, or a peak of manufacturing is predicted, we can just adjust what we have in our warehouse smartly, intelligently. It's not just about storing things for storing them. It's a flux of communication between the manufacturer, the suppliers, and us in the middle. So if this is done not just independently, and the information is shared as NARRATE is allowing us to do, the whole supply chain will drastically benefit from this. For us, firstly, because we will be offering a better service for our customers. It will not only be about faster or more cost effective, but also about improved, and also about giving us the visibility of the entire flow, so we adapt internally better to what is coming.
We are testing several tools in a real-world production environments. If we look at the expected outcomes of this project, what is the one specific improvement that you would think will have the biggest impacts on how European companies compete globally?
If I had to choose one specific improvement that will have the greatest impact on the global competitiveness of European companies, it will be the ability to self-organize and make intelligent, real-time decisions across the entire supply chain. Thanks to the intelligent manufacturing custodian, factories can interpret data from the world production network and anticipate disruptions and propose optimal alternatives without stopping operations. This means moving from the reactive supply chain to one that can think, reason, and act on its own. NARRATE transforms production into connected and flexible manufacturing networks that can adjust materials, volumes, or suppliers to quickly adapt to change external conditions. This agility and resilience ultimately make European companies far more competitive on the global stage. That's the key improvement, real-time intelligence that keeps companies moving, adapting, and leading.
Yes, and for my most impact, it's the world is changing, and we in Europe, as manufacturing, we are very we have expensive, and we need time. We have high quality standard, but for the world market, we need more flexibility, and we want to make save time, that we are faster. And the most impact is to get here in this NARRATE project, or in this that we are more flexibility and a faster production for the manufacturing based in Europe. That means, in the end of the day, that we can produce here in Europe, and we have not go in other countries to save money and time.
I would say that the ability of efficiently share the information that exists, but nowadays is not effectively shared among the different stakeholders in the supply chain and the manufacturing, will allow this competitive advantage. Dirk and Jorge were discussing about it. It's because it's about sharing this knowledge in a structured way to make real informed decisions based on real data and accurate data. That would be the main competitive advantage.
Yes, I agree with all your comments. Just to add, that could be significantly reduce the time to recovery after disruption. So in this way, you can support inventory strategies and to have further or strengthening supply chain resilience. I mean, in this way, you will have strong supply chain recovery from any disruption, as you mentioned, and enhance the capability for adaptation. This is something very important, to have a fast reaction, and not only addressing in NARRATE manufacturing as a service, we are addressing what we call smart manufacturing networks, that this is related to what Maria is saying, that everything is working in a jointly way, where you have the capability, you have a problem with this provider in a smart manufacturing network, you can have the right and proper decision in how to replace that specific problem.
That brings us to the end of the 4th episode. A huge thank you to María José, Jorge, Dirk, and María for giving us a look behind the curtain of these pilot projects. Seeing this concept in action is what makes NARRATE project truly groundbreaking. If you're manufacturing looking to join a pilot, or a policymaker interested in the results of these case studies, please reach out through the official channels. Next time on NARRATE Talks, we will be looking at the future for industrial production, sustainability and resilience. We will discuss long-term sustainability, the environment impact of these technologies, and how the NARRATE project will continue to influence European industrial policy for years to come. Stay resilient.